Very good afternoon to all. Beam strength of helical gear. So today we will be discussing about the beam strength of helical gear, wear strength of helical gear, then effective load acting on helical gear. What are the different considerations for CV as far as this helical gear is considered? Okay, so last lecture we have discussed about the force analysis and a detailed numerical about the force analysis. So the helical gear, now let us start with beam strength. So we have discussed for the beam strength. The beam strength is the maximum tangential load that the gear can transmit without bending failure. This we have discussed in spur gear also. So here in helical gear, in the terminology only we have discussed that a formative gear is considered, formative means imaginary gear, virtual gear is considered in a plane perpendicular to tooth element, and that gear is nothing but the spur gear. So a formative or imaginary spur gear is considered in a plane perpendicular to tooth element. So the pitch circle diameter for this gear is d dash, the number of teeth is z dash, and module is mn. So for this case, the pitch circle diameter is d dash, then number of teeth z dash, and normal module mn. Then we have already discussed the relation between what is the d dash for this gear, then what is the formula for z dash, that is virtual number of teeth, is equal to z divided by this cos cube of psi. So this equation also we have discussed. The beam strength of spur gear is given by, we are having the formula for beam strength of spur gear as SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y. This equation is MB sigma B into Y. Now, how this equation is used for helical gear? So here, what we will be doing, this is for spur gear. Now, in our terminology, this M will be replaced by what? That we will put. If there is any change for B, is there any change for sigma B? No, it is the material property. And what is the Y? So, what are the things? This is the formula for spur gear. So now if we want to apply the formula for helical gear, then we have to do some modification as per as these some things are considered, and we have to substitute the value. So what will be the modification? See here now. If you see the diagram, so here this is SBN. This is our beam strength, the load that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. So in this case, now we will be talking about this. Now, whatever the formula is there, we will be talking about this because an imaginary spur gear is there. It is considered in a plane perpendicular to tooth element. So this is the plane, this is the plane cut, and this is the center line of teeth. And now this will be your SBN. Okay. Then this is your B, the face width. If I consider in this plane, if I consider in this line, it will be B divided by cos of psi. It will be B divided by cos of psi. Okay. This length, if you, for more understanding, you can go like this. Like this it is there, no problem. So it is very easy. So this side is B and this angle we know this is psi. So we can easily cos of psi is equal to B divided by hypotenuse. Therefore hypotenuse is equal to this, whatever we side I want is equal to, it will become B divided by cos of psi. So this will be B by cos of psi. This is angle psi, helix angle. This is the central line of tooth. This is a piece cylinder we have considered. And a magnified view is shown here at one particular point. This angle is also psi. And the relation between SB and SBN, the normal component of beam strength, is also established in terms of psi. The relation between these two is also established in terms of psi. So now, you will give the heading beam strength of helical gears, and first you will write the formula SB is equal to MB sigma By, and now in this case SB SB will be replaced by SB will be replaced by SBN. For our case, SB will be replaced by SBN, beam strength perpendicular to tooth element in our formula. Okay, what is for your understanding? I will write down once again. SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y. So SB will be replaced by SBN. Then next thing, M is there, module. So this is for spur gear. In our case, M will be replaced by MN, that is normal module. In this case, we have considered the face width in this plane, but now it is in inclined plane, perpendicular plane. So the B will be replaced by, this is not equal, no, this I am saying B will be replaced by B divided by cos of psi. And sigma B will be as it is the material property. Therefore, it will not change. And Y in spur gear, it is the Lewis form factor. And again, we have not defined because it is for actual number of teeth. There is no any concept of virtual or imaginary number of teeth in spur gear. Therefore, this is for actual. Now, we will say that this Y is for Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth Z dash. So, what I will say, this Z will be Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth Z dash. So, if I will substitute all the values, M again, for your understanding, I will write once again. M will be replaced by SB will be replaced by SBN. M will be replaced by MN. B will be replaced by B divided by cos of psi. Sigma B will be as it is, and Y will be for virtual number of teeth. So the equation becomes SBN is equal to MNB sigma By divided by cos of psi. SBN is equal to MNB sigma By divided by cos of psi. Draw the diagram and write down the formula. Then next we will get the final formula, but at least complete this. I will give you 5 minutes for this. Complete this. I will give you some time for this. Okay, so this is over now. ESB is the component of ESBN in the plane of rotation. So see here what is mentioned here. ESB is the component of ESBN in rotation. If I refer this triangle, if I refer this triangle, I am highlighting, then I can say cos of psi is equal to adjacent side ESB divided by hypotenuse ESBN divided by hypotenuse SBN. Therefore, this will I want to put for SBN. So SBN is equal to SB divided by cos of psi. So by referring to this diagram, I can write here that SBN, SB is the component of SBN. So here we have written SBN, the normal. So SB is the component of SBN in the plane of rotation. So this is perpendicular plane and SB is in the plane of rotation. So by using cos of psi, I can write this final as SBN is equal to SB divided by cos of psi. Now this SB value I will put here and I will proceed. Then you will get SB divided by cos of psi is equal to, see here, SBN I am substituting SB divided by cos of psi. Another side, MN B sigma B into Y divided by cos of psi. This get cancelled and finally you will arrive at SB is equal to MN B sigma B Y. SB is equal to MN B sigma B Y. This is the Lewis equation for helical gear. This is the also called as Lewis equation for helical gears. Mn normal module, B face width, sigma B the permissible bending stresses, and capital Y very important. It is the factor Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth Z dash, not actual number of teeth. Okay, so it is mentioned here based on the virtual number of teeth. Okay, now this is the beam strength in the plane of rotation. SB is the beam strength in the plane of rotation. SBN, if we will go, it is the beam strength in the plane perpendicular to tooth element. Okay, so this beam strength indicates the maximum value of tangential force that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. Without bending failure, it should be always more than effective force. So SB should be always greater than P effective. SW also should be always greater than P effective. By what amount? It is nothing but called as the factor of safety. This also we have discussed in chapter, this our first bit, that is per gear. So this is the equation. Write down the equation. SB is equal to MNB sigma By. This is the equation for beam strength of helical gears, or Lewis equation for helical gears. Okay, take 1 minute time, write down this. Okay, let us proceed to next. This is about beam strength. SB is equal to MNB sigma By. Now let us proceed for next bit, wear strength. This also we have discussed for spur gear. So wear strength is the maximum tangential load that can be transmitted by helical gears without pitting failure. Here also we will be imagining a spur gear, imaginary spur gear, virtual or permittive in the plane perpendicular to tooth element, and we will just change, convert whatever the things required for helical gears, substituting these things in spur gear formula, and let us derive the further formula. So wear strength of helical gear. The wear strength equation for spur gear is modified to suit for helical gear. For this purpose, a pair of helical gear is considered to be equivalent to formative pinion and formative gear. Formative imaginary in a plane perpendicular to tooth element. Just now what we have done for spur gears. The wear strength of spur gear is given by. Now we are having this formula in spur gear also. SW is equal to BQ dP into K. BQ dP into K. So here, this is formula for spur gear. Whatever we have taken, whatever we have discussed, this is taken from spur gear. Okay, now as we want to apply for helical gear, this SW will be replaced by SWN, wear strength perpendicular to tooth element. Just now whatever we have discussed. So here in this case also, though the diagram is not there. So like this diagram will be there. SWN and SW. So here you can say this is SWN. So SW will be replaced, for this case it is SW. For our helical gear it will be replaced by SWN, wear strength perpendicular to tooth element. The B we have already discussed in last case. B will be B divided by cos of psi. Face width along the tooth element. Face width along the tooth element. Then D dash P or dP is equal to dP divided by cos square psi. Now this formula we have discussed in terminology. So diameter is given by the pitch circle diameter for this formative teeth. D dash is given by D divided by cos square psi. This formula we have discussed in terminology. The formula was the formative gear D dash. The pitch circle diameter for formative gear is given by D divided by cos square of psi, where psi stands for the helix angle. So here we have applied the formula for P. Therefore, D dash P is equal to dP divided by cos square psi. This will be replaced. Now, if I and K, it is the material related constant. It will remain as it is. So if I substitute the value of this particular SW, B, and dP in equation A, the equation A will become SW will be replaced by SWN. BQ it will be as it is, K divided by, at the denominator. So I will replace for you here, writing one step additional. SWN is equal to B. This is one value divided by cos psi into Q into dP. D dash P is dP divided by here cos square psi into K. So BQ dPK cos psi into cos square psi, it will become cos cube. So this is equation B, SWN. Again, in this case also, we can establish a relation between SWN and SW. So SW is the component in the direction of rotation of SWN. SW is the component in the rotation or direction of rotation, plane of rotation of this SWN. So I can go for a relation for this SWN. So we are having the relation SWN is equal to SW divided by cos of psi divided by cos of psi. So if you substitute this value, SW divided by cos of psi is equal to B Q dP K divided by cos cube of psi. This cos psi, and here it will become square, and this is your final equation. Yes, W is equal to BQ dpk divided by cos square of psi. This is also known as the Buckingham's equation for wear strength. This is also known as Buckingham's equation for wear strength. It gives wear strength in the plane of rotation. It is not n. So it is mentioned in the plane of rotation. Therefore, this wear strength indicates the maximum tangential force that the tooth can transmit without fitting failure. It should be always greater than, more than the effective load between the meshing teeth. And here the B stands for the face width, Q stands for the ratio factor, dp pitch circle diameter, K the material constant. If both the gears are made up of steel and 20-degree full depth involved system is there, then the K will be given by 0.16 into BHN divided by 100 bracket square divided by cos square of psi. So now we have to go for this Q also. Q formula we are having by ZG divided by ZG plus ZP. But here virtual number of teeth are there. So we have to check whether the formula is changing or remaining same. So let us, we will write the formula for Q. Before that, give the heading for wear strength, and I will give 2 minutes for these two slides, and then we will proceed further. So write down up to this final equation, this equation. Again, I will highlight though it is written. Buckingham's equation. So write down this for wear strength. Okay, write down next slide also. Teacher equation ESW is equal to BQ dpk divided by cos square psi. So last equation ESW is equal to BQ dpk. In this case, BQ dpk divided by cos square psi. So while solving numericals, we have to keep in mind that this is divided by cos square psi. This is for helical gear, and this only BQ dpk it is for spur gear. Otherwise, there are chances that the numerical may go wrong. Okay, so if this is over, now what is part remaining is Q. Q is nothing but the ratio factor. We are having the formula twice ZG divided by ZP, but in this case it is Q is equal to Z dash D. Here ZG and ZP are this for actual number of teeth. This formula applicable for spur gear. In this case, the formula is written as twice Z dash G divided by Z dash G plus Z dash P. So here Z dash G and Z dash P are the virtual number of teeth here. So what I will say here, Z dash G and Z dash P, virtual number of teeth on gear and pinion. But we are having relation this z dash is equal to z divided by cos cube psi. So it is mentioned here z dash g is equal to zg divided by cos cube psi. Z dash p is equal to zp divided by cos cube psi. So if I will substitute this value, q is equal to twice zg divided by cos cube psi divided by zg plus zp. Zg divided by cos cube psi plus Zp divided by cos cube psi. If I will take this common, so it will be twice Zg divided by cos cube psi divided by this Zg plus Zp, as the denominator is same, divided by cos cube psi. So this cos cube will get cancelled. And ultimately, though we are using it for helical gear, the formula finally gets converted into Q is equal to twice Zg divided by Zg plus Zp. So Zg and Zp are the actual number of teeth, and Z dash P and Z dash G are the virtual number of teeth. So though we are using the formula for helical gear, we will substitute here Zg and Zp as actual number of teeth only, because we have started with substituting the virtual number of teeth. In this case, these are the virtual case. Then we have substituted the formula between virtual and actual. This bit we have discussed that how to convert this between. So we are having z dash is equal to, we are having the z dash is equal to z divided by cos cube of psi. This we have discussed in last lecture. So z dash g is equal to zg divided by cos cube psi, and z dash p is equal to zp divided by cos cube psi. So if I substitute this equation in the above equation, then finally after cancelling you will get q is equal to twice zg divided by zp, zg plus zp, twice zg divided by zg plus zp, where zg and zp are the actual number of teeth. So write down this for q formula. Then let us proceed further for effective load. This is about the wear strength. So as the formulas are analogous and same to spur gear, we are just modifying the formulas. We are not deriving the formulas. It is just a modification when the formula is applicable to spur gear. Then we know that the formula, and when we want to apply the same formula for helical gear in a plane perpendicular to tooth element, then we are just modifying the formula. And now what we are getting, it is the modified formula. Okay, so Q is equal to twice Zg divided by Zg plus Zp. Now let us proceed for the effective load. Let us proceed for the effective load. In the spur gears, we have calculated the effective load by two ways. First is the approximate estimation method by using velocity factor in the preliminary stages of gear design, and next is the precise calculation. So these are the two different methods that we have discussed. So effective load, as case in spur gear also we have discussed in the preliminary stages of gear design, when we don't have the exact values of module and we cannot calculate the errors and piece circle diameter for pinion, piece circle diameter for gear, then if we don't have all these, then the effective load between two meshing teeth is given by P effective is equal to CSPT divided by CV. CSPT divided by CV. This is the first formula in the preliminary stages of gear design. Velocity factor method. So this is formula. When it is mentioned, calculate the power by using this velocity factor. So this is nothing but the velocity factor method formula is this. Okay. So now P effective, the effective load, CS stands for the service factor. We have discussed in spur gear also. PT is the tangential load. and CV is the velocity factor. CV stands for the velocity factor. So in this case, now in spur gear, there were three formulas to find out this particular CV value. The CV value for is calculated by three different formulas. If the pitch line velocity, I will say the formula for V. This is the pitch line velocity. We can calculate V by pi dn. If you say dpnp for pinion divided by 60 into 10 raised to 3, and you will get answer in meter per second. So this is the formula for V, pitch line velocity. And CV in spur gear, there were three formulas. CV is equal to 3 upon 3 plus V, CV is equal to 6 upon 6 plus V, and CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. For the pitch line velocity less than 10, pitch line velocity greater than 10, less than 20, means between 10 to 20, and pitch line velocity greater than 20 respectively. So we have discussed different numericals by using the formula CV is equal to 3 upon 3 plus V and CV is equal to 6 upon 6 plus V. Now in the helical gears, it is assumed that the helical gears are rotating or used for high speed applications. The helical gears are used in high speed application. So here in this case, only one formula is there for CV, and that formula for CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. Whatever may be the value for V, let it be 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, irrespective of the pitch line velocity, as in case of spur gear. There were three formulas in helical gears, irrespective of the V velocity. You will be using only one formula for calculation of CV, and that only one formula is CV is equal to whatever mentioned is 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. So this is the effective load by using first method. So if module is given and we want to calculate power, then in that case we can calculate this V, we can calculate CV, then we can calculate P effective by using SB and SW relation. So you will get the value of PT in this from this equation, and you will use the PT value for further calculations. Okay, so this is the effective load calculation in the preliminary stages of gear design by using velocity factor method. Now second, in the final stages of gear design, so I will call it this as the second formula. In the final stages of gear design, when the gear dimensions are known, everything is known, gear dimensions, we can calculate the error, we can calculate the face width, we can calculate the diameters and radii of this pinion and gear. Then in this case, errors are specified for the quality. We can calculate PD by using P effective is equal to CSPT plus PD. By using P effective is equal to CSPT plus PD. And in this case, this PD by using Spot's equation, we are having one PD by using Spot's equation, we are having the formula ENP ZP BR1 R2 or RPRG, whatever you say. So PD, I will write is equal to ENP ZP B R1 R2 or RPRG, whatever you will write, divided by 2530 under root of RP square plus RG. In this spur gear, we have discussed, this is the Spot's equation for calculating the dynamic load. What's equation for calculating this dynamic load? So here you can say PD is equal to ENPZP into BRPRG divided by 2530 under root of RP square plus RG square. So here only one formula is there. If you refer the case, if you refer the case for spur gear, again there were three formulas. cast iron pinion, cast iron gear, then cast iron pinion, cast iron gear, then steel pinion, steel gear, and steel pinion, cast iron gear. But as in helical gear, it is assumed that the gears are rotating at higher speed, higher RPM, with higher load carrying capacity. So in this case, only steel pinion and steel gear equation will be used. So as in last spur gear, three equations were there. Here, this is only equation that we will be using for calculation of dynamic load by using this Potts equation. So write down this equation. Okay, so this is the equation for effective load by using the preliminary stages between two meshing teeth. This P effective is equal to CSPT by CV, and when the all dimensions are with us, we can call this as the precise calculation of dynamic load by using Potts equation. These are the two equations by using which we can easily calculate the effective load acting on the gear tooth. Now, let us proceed for the numericals. So we will solve now two different numericals based on this. So let us start this numerical number 1. Just now we have discussed the beam strength, wear strength, and effective load. Let us proceed for numerical number 1. Just have a look and write down what is given. Okay, so this is the problem. Just we can see. Problem number 5 means we have taken 2, 3 numericals based on the terminology. Then one numerical we have taken based on the force analysis in this helical gear, and this is the next numerical. So let us at least first step we will write down what is given. The steps for calculation will be same in that case of spur gear. Only we have to use the formulas for helical gears as this with whatever the changes are there that just now we have discussed, and we will be solving. So this numerical we will solve. A pair of parallel helical gear consists of 20 teeth pinion meshing with a 100 teeth gear. So here ZP is equal to 20, actual number of teeth. ZG is equal to 100, number of teeth 100 on gear. The pinion rotates at 720 RPM. NP is equal to 720 RPM. Then the normal pressure angle is 20 degrees. So alpha n 20 degrees. Then while the helix angle is there 25 degrees, so psi is equal to 25 degree helix angle. Face width is 40 millimeters and normal module is 4 millimeters. So MEN is equal to 4 mm. And next B face width is given as 40 millimeters. The pinion as well as the gear made up of steel material 40C8 and the ultimate tensile strength is given as 600 Newton per mm square. So using Buckingham's equation, I will say sigma B is equal to SUT by 3, 600 by 3. So I will directly write it there 200 Newton per mm square. And it is situated to a surface hardness of 300 BHN. So Brinell hardness number is given 300. BHN is given, we can easily calculate the SW also. The service factor and factor of safety are 1.5 and 2. So CS directly given 1.5 and factor of safety is given as 2. Assume the velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load. We have to use P effective is equal to CSPT by CV. Calculate the power transmitting capacity for the gear. So we have to calculate the kilowatt and Y for 27 number of teeth is given as 0.3475. Now ZP number of teeth on pinion it is given 20 and Y for 27 teeth is given. So here is the concept that we will be calculating for virtual number of teeth. Then you will come to know. So let us proceed for calculation. So very first write down what is given. I will give you 1 minute for writing this, then we will proceed for solving the numerical. We have same. Okay, so let us proceed. So here, if for your more understanding, though we have discussed many numerical, still, as this is the first problem in case of power calculation, within very short, I will give you the highlights of the steps what will be required or used for calculation. So first of all, we will be calculating beam strength. So as we will say, both gears are made up of pinion, same material, therefore pinion is weaker, and first I will be calculating the beam strength. So beam strength I will say SB is equal to Mn B sigma B into Y. Mn given, B given, sigma B given, now Y. For this Y, I will calculate the virtual number of teeth Z dash. Z dash P is equal to ZP divided by cos cube of psi. I will call Z dash and then whether the given value for Y is right or not. And if it is right, we will use the value and I will calculate the beam strength. Then I will proceed for calculating of this wear strength. So we are having formula for wear strength as SW is equal to BQ dp K divided by cos square psi. Here we will calculate Q twice ZG divided by ZG plus ZP. Okay, I will calculate dp. We are having formula Mn ZP divided by cos of psi. I will calculate K 0.16 into bracket BHN divided by 100, and this is bracket square. So QdPK. Now if you substitute all these values, you will get SW is equal to answer in Newton. Here you will get SB is equal to answer in Newton. So SW, SB, I will compare which value is lesser, SB or SW, and based on the lesser, I will go for the further step. So step number 3 will be calculation of PT. But for this, I have to calculate the effective load. So I will say here, by using this effective load, I will calculate the PT. So I will say here, just for your information, I will write down P effective is equal to CS PT divided by CV. So I will verify to calculate V. Pi dp NP divided by 60 into 10 raised to 3. Then I will calculate CV. 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. Then I will calculate P effective, and I am having based on SB or SW which is weaker, SW or SB, whatever, is equal to P effective into FS. So all things are known. We will get the value PT here in terms of Newton. And last step, or you can insert one more step. So if you can calculate the torque transmitted, MT is equal to PT into PT into dp by 2, and finally you will calculate the power transmitting capacity by using relation MT is equal to 60 into 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi NP. So if you substitute all these, you will get the value of power. So these are the steps that we have to follow. So where you first beam strength, then wear strength, then this is very first you will get the value of beam strength, then wear strength, then by using this effective load. Our aim is not to calculate effective load. In this case, our aim is to calculate the PT. Then we will be calculating MT, and finally we will be calculating, or you will get the final answer as kilowatt. Okay. So as this is the first numerical in case of helical gears, I have given you complete steps. Otherwise, we have all discussed the steps in the last formula also. So let us proceed by writing this as both the gears are made up of same material. Pinion is weaker than gear. So we will design for pinion. Pinion is weaker than gear. Okay, so again I will go for my step number 1. Beam strength calculation. Beam strength calculation. So I will write down the formula. SB is equal to Mn B sigma B into Y, where Y is the Lewis form factor based on the virtual number of teeth. Therefore, I will say in this case here, virtual number of teeth Z dash P is equal to ZP divided by cos cube psi. So 20 divided by cos cube of 25. You will get answer. Virtual number of teeth is equal to, tell me Z dash P is equal to, very simple. You will get the answer as 26.865. Okay, 87. So 26.87. I will assume this as 27. If you refer the given data, y for 27 is given here. You see here, if you refer the given data, so this is y for 27. So this is the answer. Therefore, it is given that y for 27. So we can use the y value. So now SB is equal to, just substitute Mn 4 into 40 into 200 into y value is given 0.3475. You will get the value of SB, the beam strength, is equal to, in Newton. Calculate. Okay, right answer. So 11.2 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay, so I will write here 11.12 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay, let us proceed for the wear strength. Okay, yes, W is equal to, we are having formula BQ dpk divided by cos square psi. So this is the formula. So now B is given. You have to calculate Q. We are having twice ZG divided by ZG plus ZP. Calculate Q separately. K, as both the gears are made up of steel material and 20-degree full depth involute system is used. Therefore, we will be using this formula 0.16 into BHN divided by 100 square, and calculate DP also. For this helical gear, we are having MZP, but for helical gear, it is MNZP divided by cos of psi. So calculate these three values and put these three values in the equation SW, and you will get the value. So calculate QKDP. Okay, so one by one we will write what is Q value. So if I will substitute here 2 into, okay, 1.667, okay, 100 divided by 100 plus 20. So I will say here 1.667. Okay. Then what is K value? 0.16 into BHN is given 300. So you will get K value as, okay, very good, 1.44. And MNZP. So here MN 4 into 20 divided by cos of 25 is equal to DP value 88.27. Very good. Millimeter. So now all values are with me. I will substitute the value SW is equal to B for T. Q value Q 1.67. Okay. DP 88.27 into K value 1.44 divided by cos square of this 25. So you will get the answer. Wear strength. Yes, W is equal to, you will get in Newton. Let me know the answer. 10318. Okay. So as I have written here also I will write 1031. Any other? Okay, any other answer? Okay, 1027, 1031, 1033. Okay. I will write 10.31, 318, 32, whatever. So I will say 32 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. You keep your answer as it is, whatever you arrived at. So this is my SW value. Okay, SW, the wear strength. Now, let us compare between these two before proceeding for next step. So SW 10.32 into 10 raised to 3, SB 11.12. So I will say here, by comparing these two, I can highlight. So in this case, I will say SW is less than SB. SW is less than SB, and therefore wear, or I will write SW is nothing but the maximum tangential load that the gear can transmit without pitting failure. Therefore, SW is nothing but due to pitting. So I will write pitting is the criterion for design. Pitting is the criterion for design. Now let us proceed. Next step, step number 3, I will say. Step number 3. So what is the step number 3? It is nothing but the, I will call a tangential load. I will calculate if tangential load by using this effective load. So tangential load PT. Tangential load PT. So I can say here we are having the formula P effective is equal to CS PT divided by CV. We will calculate CV, but before writing all these things, let us starting with V, pitch line velocity. So V is given by pi dPnP divided by 16 to 10 raised to 3. Pi dPnP divided by 16 to 10 raised to 3. I will say here pi into 88.27 into 720 divided by 60 into 10 raised to 3. So I will get answer V is equal to, I will write 3.33 meters per second. For helical gear, we are having only one formula, CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. Calculate CV. So I will say here 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root 3.33. So I am having I will get the CV value as, CV is equal to, tell me the value for CV. 0.75. Okay, Saurabh, 0.75. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, now SW is the criteria. So I will directly use the relation in terms of SW. So here, instead of calculating P effective separately, I will say SW is equal to P effective into EFS. We have SW is equal to P effective into EFS. I am having the value effective load is equal to CS. CSPT divided by CV. So I will combine the formula. I will substitute the value of P effective into SW and I can write as so I will write in terms of SW only in this case. So I can write it like as, it will be S W is equal to P effective. So I will write CS into PT divided by CV and into this formula EFS. So from where it arrived, SW is equal to P effective into EFS. So this value I have substituted for P effective. Now substitute all the values, what will be unknown? It is nothing but the PT. So I will say 10.32 into 10 raised to 3 is equal to CS 1.5 into PT divided by CV 0.75 into FS will be 2. AW 10.32. Okay, so if you substitute all the values, you will get here the value of tangential load PT in terms of Newton. So substitute all the values and calculate the value of PT. Tell me the value of PT. Substitute the value, then tell me the value of PT, the tangential load that the tooth can transmit without a fitting failure. This value you will get now. 2579. Okay. Any other 2580? Okay, 2580. So I will go with this majority and I will say 2580 Newton. Now further two steps are very easy. So torque transmitted. So I am having the formula for torque. MT is equal to PT into dP by 2. PT into dP by 2. So I can say here the value as I substitute the values. So PT 2580 into 88.27 divided by 2. So you will get the torque value as MT is equal to, tell me the value for a torque. 113.8, 2.86868. Okay, so I will say here 113.86 into 10 raised to 3, and unit will be Newton millimeter. So proceed for our last step. So this is your value for MT. Okay. Now our step number 5, the power transmitting capacity. Power transmitting capacity. So I will write here MT is equal to 60 into 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi NP. So I will say here 113.86 into 10 raised to 3 is equal to 60 into 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi, and NP value is given as 720. So you will get the value of kilowatt as. What is the answer for this? 8.58. Okay. Dhanashri, any other? 8.58. Okay. So I will say the power transmitting capacity is given by 8.58. 8.58 kilowatt. Okay, so this way we have calculated the power transmitting capacity. Over. Okay. Let us proceed. The next problem. We will take one more problem. Okay, let us write down what is given and then we will proceed for starting the numerical. So read the problem. Next problem, the following data is given for a pair of helical gears made up of steel. So I will directly write down what is given simultaneously reading the problem. So here you can say, in this case, speed of pinion is given. So here it is directly given data. So NP is equal to 720 revolutions per minute. Number of teeth on pinion, ZP is equal to 35. Then gear ratio is given here. So denote this gear ratio 2x to 1. Then I will proceed here only. ZG by ZP is equal to this gear ratio 2x to 1. Therefore, I will say here ZG is equal to G into ZP. So 2 into 35. So ZG is equal to 70. Okay. Then next, normal module. Mn is equal to 5 millimeter. Face width B is equal to 40 millimeter. The normal pressure angle alpha n is equal to 20 degree. The helix angle psi is equal to 23 degree. The ultimate tensile strength for the material SUT is equal to 450 Newton per mm square. The surface hardness in Brinell hardness number is given BHN. So BHN is equal to 300. Then this service factor ES is equal to 1.25. Factor of safety FS is equal to 2. Grade for machining, very important, it is given here. Grade for machining grade 8 and the error is given for this grade 8 16 plus 1.25 into bracket Mn normal module plus 0.25 d raised to 1 half means under root of d. This is the given here in this formula only this is given. So as this error is given for grade 8, we have to calculate the dynamic load by using Spot's equation. Error for pinion, error for gear and dynamic load. Assume Lewis form factor. So Y value is given here 0.3986. Formative teeth on pinion. Y for pinion is given. So we will calculate the Z dash P and whatever the number is there for Z dash, we will assume that Y value as 0.3987 because it is clear cut mentioned that Y value for pinion it is given 0.3986. What we have to calculate now? What is asked, what is given and what we have to calculate. So here you can see in this case So here if you refer, then beam strength. So we will not be writing the steps all again. So here first we have to calculate the beam strength. It is given. So we will be calculating SB, beam strength. Same as last case, SB is equal to MB sigma BY. So we will be calculating beam strength. Second, we will be calculating SW, that is wear strength we have to calculate. Then third one, very important, PD by Scott's equation. So I will write you P, NP, ZP, B, RP, RG divided by 2530 under root of RP square plus RG square. This is the formula. And last one, if you calculate PD, then number 4 is the power transmitting capacity, kilowatt we have to calculate. So just in last numerical, we have calculated the kilowatt by using this P effective is equal to CSPT by CV by using the preliminary method. Now we will be calculating it by the accurate method, or we will call it as the precise calculation. So directly whatever is given, write down the given. We will be starting with the beam strength, wear strength, and we will directly proceed for solving the numerical. So I will give you 1 minute for writing this. Okay, so let us start directly solving the numericals. So our step number will be step number 1. We'll be calculating of this beam strength only. So I will say here step number 1. Beam strength calculation. So calculate beam strength. We are having the formula for this. SB is equal to Mn B sigma B into Y. So here I will calculate the virtual number of teeth. I will calculate Z dash P is equal to ZP divided by cos cube of psi. Again, I will write as both the gears and pinion are made up of same material. Pinion is weaker than the gear. So here Z dash P is equal to 35 divided by cos cube of angle. Okay, 23-degree angle is given. Okay, so what it will be? Z dash P is equal to, tell me value. We will get answer as Z dash P 35 divided by cos cube of 23. So you will get answer as 44.87. I will say approximately 45. And Y value is given. So I will say Y for 45 because it is mentioned Y for pinion it is given. So Y for pinion is equal to Y for 45 number of teeth is equal to, and let us refer whatever value is given, 3986. So 0.3986. Now I will calculate SB. SB is equal to 5 into 40 into sigma B, SUT divided by 3, 450 divided by 3 into 0.3986. You will get the value of beam strength in Newton. Tell me the value for beam strength. One 1958. Okay. 1195. Okay, so 1.958 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay, so this is your beam strength value. Now step number 2, as BHN value is given, we can calculate here the value of wear strength. We can calculate the value of wear strength. So I will write down SW is equal to BQ dpk divided by cos square of angle psi. So let us calculate one by one things what are required. So I will write here Q is equal to twice ZG divided by ZG plus ZP, 2 into 70 divided by 70 plus 35. This will give you Q is equal to value. Then dP is equal to MNZP divided by cos of psi. So I will write down 5 into 35 divided by cos of 23 degree, and this will give you the answer dP is equal to. And finally, as both the gears are made up of steel and angle is 20 degree, the alpha normal pressure angle, therefore K is given by 0.16 into BHN divided by 100 bracket square. So I will write down 0.16 into BHN value is given. Check the value for BHN 300. So 300 divided by 100 bracket square. This will give you K is equal to. If you calculate all the values, then I can easily say SW is equal to divided by cos square 23 degree. You will get answer in Newton. Calculate all this. So I will say here you will get Q value as, if you calculated just to check 1.33, then you will get dP value as 190.11, and you will get K value as 1.44. If the values are matching, type in the chat box yes. Then I will go for this calculation of SW. SW is equal to VQ dPk. So substitute the value 40 into Q value 1.33 into dP value 190.11 into K 1.44. Tell me the value for SW. huh, 17188. Okay, so I will check value 17.18. Okay, very nice. So I will say here 17.18 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Now, let us compare between this SW and SB. So 11.95 and 17.18 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 3. So I will simply say that it clearly indicates here in this case SB is less than SW. SB is less than SW, and therefore bending is the criterion for design. Bending is the criterion for design. Okay, now step number 3, let us move ahead. Dynamic load. Now here, as error, the formula for error is given. Squat's equation we have to use, and we have to calculate this. So by using Squat's equation, I will say PD is equal to E NP ZP B into R1 R2 or RPRG divided by 2530 under root of RP square plus RG square. Okay. So now in this case, first of all, we have to calculate the error. So for grade 8 value is given. So refer the formula. For grade 8 error value is given. So I will take that error value. I will write for grade 8 error is equal to 16 plus 1.25 into bracket mn plus 0.25 under root of d. So here we have to calculate dp, we have to calculate dg. So I will say very first. So dp we have calculated in the calculation. So I will directly write for ep, error for pinion is equal to 16 plus 1.25 into bracket mn plus 0.25 under root of dp. This is the generalized formula. Then I will substitute the values 16 plus 1.25 into bracket mn value. It is the 5. Mn value is given 5 plus 0.25, and we have calculated the value for dp as 190.11. So I will substitute here the value 190.11. So you will get this error for pinion. Tell me the value for error for pinion, EP. This value you will get in micron, and then we will write in mm also. Tell me the value in micron. First EP value error for pinion. Just a simple calculation. (16 plus 1.25) under root of 5 plus 0.25 into 190.11. Any more correct answer? First. 26.55. Okay, so I will write here 26.55 micron. So I will write 26.55 into 10 raised to minus 3 millimeter. This is the value for EP, that is error for pinion. I am highlighting in between. Now let us go for EG. But before going for EG, we don't have the formula DG. So I will calculate diameter for gear Mn into Zg divided by cos of psi 5 into 70 divided by cos of 23 degrees. So let me know the value for DG. You will get the diameter as 380.23 mm, and I will calculate here only radius dg by 2 is equal to 190.11 mm. Don't get confused. We are having the diameter for pinion as 190.11 and we are having the radius of gear as 190.11. So this is the difference. So let us proceed further. Let us calculate EG. Let us calculate error for gear. EG is equal to 16 plus 1.25 into bracket Mn. So I will directly write 5 plus 0.25 under root of dg 380.23. So calculate the error for gear. It will be in micron. I will say into 10 raised to minus 3 millimeters. Calculate. Then I will say total error is equal to EP plus EG. So you will get total error is equal to. Calculate EG, the error for gear. .34. Very good. So here 28.34. I will say here 28.34 into 10 raised to minus 3. Now 28.34 plus our first answer 26.55. You will get total error, just addition of these two, very simple. What will be the answer for this? Just addition of these two, you will get total error. .89. Okay, very nice. So I will say 54.89 micron, or I will directly convert it into 10 raised to minus. This value I will put error value in formula. Okay, and I don't have this RP value, so I will say RP is equal to dP divided by 2, 190.11 divided by 2. So I will say here 95.05 millimeter. Okay. RG value 190.11. We have already calculated RG value. RG 190.11. In this case, now total error is over. Now I will substitute values. PD is equal to ENP ZP. आता error E 54.89 into 10 raised to 3. NP 720. ENP ZP number of teeth on pinion. B R1 R2 divided by 2530 under root of 95.05 square RP square plus RG square. So calculate the value for PD. You will get the value in Newton. This is the value for PD. You will get the answer in Newton. Calculate the value for PD. Be fast, huh? Be fast. Effective load then. What is the value for PD? Anybody calculated? One eight 59. Any other? 1859. Okay, very good. Okay, so effective load here I will say we have already written that SB is less than SW, therefore SB is the criteria. SB is equal to P effective into FS. Very simple. Therefore, P effective is equal to SB divided by FS. I am simplifying it. So we are having value of SB 11.958 into 10 raised to 3. Divided by factor of safety as 2. So you will get value for P effective as tell me value just divided by 2. Very simple. ₹3,00,000 79. 5979 Newton. Then I will next move for the calculation of this tangential load. So tangential load I will say P effective is equal to CSPT plus PD. This is the formula for spur gear. Now in this case CSPT PD cos alpha n cos psi. So now we are having P effective is equal to 5979 is equal to CS 1 point. Let us take the value. Okay, 1.25. into PT plus PD 1859 into cos of alpha n 20 degree into cos of 23 degree. So let me know all things are known. It will give you the value of PT in Newton. The tangential load you will get in Newton. Calculate the tangential load. Then step number 6 I will calculate. Let me know the tangential load. Three, 496. Any other? 3496. Okay, so I will say 3496. Okay. Then EMT into dP by 2. So 3496. So calculate the value for EMT you will get. EMT is equal to, I will say here only 3496 into 190.11 divided by 2. So you will get EMT value. You will get EMT value. EMT value first. Then last step will be kilowatt power calculation. EMT you will get as 332.37. Okay, any other? Three 332.37. Okay. Newton millimeter. So here I will say we are having MT is equal to 16 to 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi NP. So substitute the value of MT. Okay, I will rewrite. MT is equal to 60 into 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi NP. MT value 332.37 is equal to 60 into 10 raised to 6 kilowatt divided by 2 pi, and NP value is 720. So substitute all the values. You will get the value for kilowatt. So the value for kilowatt will be calculate 2 point. Calculate precisely. Any other? 25. Any other? $25. Okay, so I will say here power transmitting capacity. So quite lengthy problem. In this, we have calculated the beam strength, the wear strength, compared between beam and wear strength. Then the effective load by using dynamic, the Squat's equation, dynamic load calculated, then tangential load, MT, and finally power transmitted.